Morning everybody, in the shed today, bit chilly out there, need to crack on with some jobs nonetheless. First thing is to pot up my tomato plants, and by potting up what I mean is moving them from their current home, which is sort of medium-sized pots, into large pots, and these should be their homes for the summer where hopefully we'll get a huge yield. For me, one of the things that's really important when you're moving plants from one pot to another is preparation. So what I've done here is I've prepared the 3 pots, so they're all ready, got sieved compost. I've got the 3 canes, because I almost certainly the tomato plants are going to need some support. Got some twine, got my dibber, got a knife, and I've got some extra compost just in case. So here's the tomato plant that I'm going to be using for today's demonstration. It's a Moneymaker, which are a bit old school, but they are traditionally high yielding, which is exactly what we want. Preparation is always kind of really important. So what I've done with the pot is to use just a little bit of wood, press down the compost, that gets rid of all the air bubbles. I've got a bit of twine cut and ready. This is the pot I'm going to be using. As you can see, I've put a fairly cavernous hole in there. It's quite likely that the root system for the tomato plant will be fairly advanced, so I need to create plenty of space so that the transition from one pot to the next pot is as easy as possible and causes the least amount of disruption for the plant. What I've done here is I've removed leaves from the lower part of the stem. This gives me quite a decent space of open stem, which means I can plunge it much deeper into the hole, which will encourage root development. So what we'll be doing in a few moments is undoing the twine, removing the stake, gently with this knife, easing around the pot so I can ease away the plant, being very, very, very careful, using both hands to lift the plant from this current pot and then hopefully transfer it nicely and gently into the new pot. So ordinarily I wouldn't be showing this on video, but as you can see, what I've done is removed the twine, removed the stake. I've given it a really good dig so I can get as much of the root away from its current home to make the disruption as little as possible. So if I lift it really gently, there you can see quite a significant root ball. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to move this into the new pot. So what I've done now is move the plant from the smaller pot, as you know, into this larger pot. It sat relatively low. I topped up with some extra fresh compost, introduced a larger stake and a bit of twine, and it's now about giving the plant some water. So there we have it, the Moneymaker now in its new pot. It looks quite happy. What may happen is over the next 24 hours the leaves will droop a little bit, but that's not unusual. Keep your eye on it. The warmth of the house, the watering, the settling into the new home will lead to the plant just sort of perking up, so it'll be okay. Purely by coincidence, next to it I've got an Outdoor Girl tomato plant, and it's in exactly the same pot as the Moneymaker was before we did the move, and you can see there's quite a significant difference, which is really necessary because, like I say, the pot that the plant is in now is the one that I think it'll be in throughout the summer and hopefully delivering a huge yield of tomatoes.